My name is Jake Black. I'm the moderator today. I am a WWE historian. I was co-writer on 17 WWE history books, thousands of trading cards, former full-time WWE employee. Like I said, you don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from three-time WWE champion, WWE Hall of Famer, New York Times best-selling author, and a hell of a nice guy, Mick Foley.
Here we can reevaluate.
I'm grateful for the warm and welcoming entrance music that came to, right? I once did a talk at a library where they played that song. I was kind of thinking of and they gave me the
walkout. That's not even the entrance thing. That's the exit.
Yeah, and plus that was something from an interview, I think. It wasn't part of the song. But then when they did an album, I don't know, they built it. I don't know. But anyway, I'm happy to be here. This is going great. This convention's going really well.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I've been here many times, but I've not been to the convention here. I've heard for years how good it is, and now I see it's true. Hello there. How you doing? Are these people already lining up for questions?
Yeah, well, I'll ask you a couple, and then we'll dive into the fans. Yeah. So since you're back in Salt Lake, do you have any favorite Salt Lake memories being here?
Not really.
All right. That's fair.
Let me think about that. Sometimes the cities run into each other.
Yeah, sure.
It's more about the beautiful scenery I know. And a couple of years ago, I think 2022, I started my Have a Nice Day tour in Salt Lake City doing the Wise Guy shows. And then I drove to Detroit. And it's just, you guys don't realize how lucky you are, right? You've never had to make that drive from New York to Florida on I-95, right? Where the most scenic thing you see is a road sign for 1,000 miles. Yep. And then I'm on this trip, and I'm like, for 200 miles, there's nothing but beauty around me. So I'm more familiar with the beautiful scenery. If you guys told me matches I had here, I'd probably remember them, but offhand I don't.
I will tell you that my wife gave me tickets to that show for our anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that Wise Guy show.
Yeah.
And,
do a pretty good job on it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to tell any of my best stories tonight in case you want to come back in a few years, okay?
Are you allowed one today?
Well, it depends on the questions. If the question's job or good story, I'll tell you.
All right. So, how you doing?
Everything is good. Yep, everything's good. I'm always so flattered that I have children coming up to my table talking about the cell match. This little guy specifically mentioned to me a couple times. Stand up, this guy is knowledgeable. This little child asked me 3 times about the cell match, and he's how old? How old? 14 months already asking me about the cell.
Well, break them in young, I guess.
But seriously, there are 6 and 7-year-old kids, who know more about my matches than I do. It's just pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, let's jump in. Always in WWE.
Okay.
Going in like you were. Going into the
Still, even after working for them?
No, I say you are.
Oh, yeah. They work those writers hard.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, man.
I got friends.
Yeah,
I got friends.
Yeah.
Some of my best friends actually came from there, but you would go into the Garden to see shows.
I did, yeah, Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, and that was your dream.
It was, yeah.
Tell us the Mick Foley origin story. How you got from diving off the roof to in the ring.
Well, I was up on top of Danny Zucker's roof in a pair of John Stockton style short shorts, and
from right here.
He's been retired that long that people don't even remember him. Have you guys
John Stockton?
Here I am making fun of short basketball shorts. I'm in a field where guys wear trunks, right? Trunks and knee-high boots. origin story, yeah. It did kind of happen from jumping off Danny Zucker's roof. A promoter saw me do that, put me on, and that's not the right way to get into wrestling, but that was how I got in. He put me on his ring crew, so we're talking about the bottom of the barrel. And then I had a guy named Dominic Tanucci who, trained me, stretched my body in certain ways, tested my will. And when he thought that I had a proper amount of respect, he told me about some guys he was teaching outside of Pittsburgh. And that's when my journey, where I stopped spending weekends at college and started driving to beautiful Freedom, PA. So that was a lot of my 2 final years in college I spent, learning wrestling.
I love that.
Thanks.
So I'm sure you get this question all the time. So I'm just going to ask the two questions that I think you get all the time. Favorite opponent, favorite match.
Oh, favorite match is easy. That was me and Randy Orton in Backlash 2004. And I'm really lucky. I was in the Attitude Era where we had Triple H, Steve, Rock, Undertaker, like that. And who else? Those were really the big guys. Then from WCW, Vader and Sting, and overall, Terry Funk and I did some unusually cruel things to each other in the name of wrestling.
Yesterday we had one of your former tag team partners, as I recall. Lita was here?
Lita? Oh yeah, that's right. She did tag up with me at the ECW, second ECW pay-per-view.
That's right, yeah.
That's right.
All right, like I said, you don't want to hear from me. We all want you to get your questions in here. I'm going to lay a couple of ground rules. As you can see, line's already getting pretty long. So, spare the time, save the time. We know that you love Mick Foley. Don't keep repeating it every person when you get up to the microphone.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We love Mick Foley.
Thank you.
Second ground rule. One question. Just to give everybody a chance, or as many people as a chance.
That's fine. As many questions we're going to be able to handle.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, otherwise we'll go and people will be standing in line.
Okay. So maybe say we're capping the line. If our fellow is in the orange jacket at the back there, is there anyone behind you? One person. All right. When that person gets to the microphone, if there's any more time, we will start coming up one at a time, all right? Is that a deal? Yeah. All right. Last rule. Have fun, folks.
Are you guys going to be able to reach that microphone?
Batman and that. He helps out.
There you go.
Test. So, you'll save, those famous lines you have, Bang Bang,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Were they inspired, or did you just make them up?
What did they what? Did
Were they inspired by something, or did they just come out of the head of Foley?
Well, Bang Bang, for example, was just me dropping an elbow on Nasty Ned Brady in November of '89, and looking up at the camera and thinking of the words to the B-52 song, Love Shack. And if you see that video on WCW, I didn't say bang bang, I went bang, bang, bang. And I actually said, on the door, baby, so you can hear me say that. And then I got back into the dressing room and somebody said, that's a great line, you should keep using it, and I did. Have a Nice Day was just like a throwaway line, because Mankind came in to do vignettes and he was kind of a dark, scary character. And I think when you use bright, friendly terms, but in a scary way, they're even scarier. So if I said, have a horrible day, you'd expect that. But if I said, have a nice day, it's not scary now that you know me. But I scared the crap out of some of you when you were children. I know that for a fact. And I know that because I was the only WWE wrestler in history to be asked not to participate in Make-A-Wish events.
Did they ask Yerpel?
Well, Yerpel only came on board in '98. And by that time, Mankind was soft and cuddly. But, back in the day, he was dark and dangerous, right? So, yeah, there you go. Good question, my man. Good question. Oh, and I forgot one catchphrase. Ow! Mercy. There you go.
What was the painful part of when you're in WWE?
Oh, the most painful part would probably have to watch Al Snow matches. Wait, hold on, buddy. I gotta answer that question. Hold on. Does anyone have a pen? Okay, I want you to come up here and we're gonna answer your own question. Okay, can you make it up the stairs? Where's this young man's family? You want to come up here and video this? Okay. Okay, so take this Sharpie, okay? I'm going to lift up my hair and you're going to place it behind my left ear, right? Okay, there we go, and it stays. Now you want to come around here to get the camera shot, okay? Come around the other side. There you go. We're going to put it behind the front here. Seems to be a problem. That was the most painful injury in my life. You didn't know I was a part-time magician, did you?
We bring it back.
What do you got?
Being that you were, I would say, an infamous part of the Monday Night Wars with Tony Schiavone's comment, and fast forward to today, what is your opinion of WWE's counter-programming of AEW?
Oh, when did they counter-program AEW? Was it?
Yeah.
I thought AEW counter-programmed them.
This is a recent development.
Yes, yeah.
When are they counter-programmed?
They had All In Texas on July 12th, and they scheduled an NXT pay-per-view during All In Texas, and Goldberg's last match on the same night as All In Texas.
Well, this stuff's been going on for 30 years. I mean, it's just part of business. It's not one that I like, but it is, people do it, you know? I mean, it's competition. They're all doing really well over there, you know? Talk to people, they're all happy. They're gonna get over this thing, yeah. So, it's not my favorite part of the business, but it is something that's done regularly, so I don't really have an answer for you. It's just barking the courts, really. Okay?
And it's even more than just Monday Night Wars. That was happening in the territory days. It's just,
yeah. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, WCW before it was WCW and NWA, you know, they had a few of their biggest, their biggest shows were Starrcade, which was on Thanksgiving night, and WWE started doing the pay-per-view against it. I mean, this has been going on for over 30 years. Hello there, how you doing?
If you could create your own dream match, any superstar, dead or alive,
Yeah.
who would it be?
Oh, it would be me and Rhea Ripley, probably. Look, the most famous intergender match of any kind was Billie Jean King against Bobby Riggs. And Bobby Riggs was 25 years past his prime, but he knew how to promote a match. So I am 25 years past my prime, but give me 4 weeks and I'll create a match for you. Yeah. And people will know that, you know, like she can probably beat me, so there'll be a definite question. But yeah, we might be able to make that work. I'll give her a call, see what she thinks. Okay. Go ahead.
So kind of going off of that.
Wait, hold on. Let me give you a real answer. I was thinking of doing a last match for my 60th birthday, which is come and gone, and so I didn't do it. Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor, and I really thought, if I do some of the things I want to do in this match, I will completely mess up my hip and knee replacement, and I remember how painful it was to walk for like 10 years before I got that. I don't want to go back there. Not for any match or any amount of money. But I will tell you, the guy who put forth the best proposal was MJF. So we would have had a 6-week program. There you go. Okay, now here's your question.
Well, you kind of just answered it, but it's your job. Any matches you regret?
Any matches I regret? Like things I did in them?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I didn't have an extensive repertoire of moves, and I know you didn't think you were going to see a wrestling move here today, but I'll show you one move I would have wished I had utilized. Ready to see it? That would have been me blocking steel chairs when they were whistling at my skull at high speed. Back in my day, it was like, you know, kind of a tough guy thing. But the weird thing was the toughest guys of all did put up their hands. So there was no correlation between, you know, being a tough guy and putting up your hands. But I broke my tip of my thumb in world class when Chris Adams hit me with a chair. That was a sign to me that putting up my hands was dangerous, so I stopped doing it. All right, good question. Go ahead.
Who is your favorite and least favorite person to go up against?
Least favorite? You want me to go negative on Al Snow? Oh, again?
There's two Al Snow.
Let me see. Well, my favorite, I mentioned all those guys, the Attitude Era. It's hard to pick a favorite because I had fun with so many of them. So I don't know whether I should go with the world's biggest star, Dwayne Johnson, or the guy who runs WWE, Triple H. But it was one of those two, okay? And the least favorite, you know, there were just some guys who were sloppy, because when you do what we do, you're going to get hurt. It's just part of the business. But you don't need to get unnecessarily hurt because of sloppiness. So I don't want to name names because a couple people I'm thinking of are not even with us anymore. But I didn't like that, you know, because my style was dangerous. I was bringing plenty of danger upon myself. I didn't need somebody, for example, dropping a knee on the back of my ankle, you know, and breaking it. So that's just sloppiness, you know. It's not, when I'm saying that, I'm not saying you know, set up a perfect Ric Flair knee drop, but just guys who were awkward and clumsy and didn't have the proper respect. Those are the guys I don't know. Because what we do is really all about respect. Okay? Thanks. Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good.
In my opinion,
Do you know why I'm good? I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life. He's got a Hulk Hogan up here, that's why. It wasn't just random.
but in my opinion, your interview with JR,
Oh yeah.
I think it was over a couple weeks. That really sent you to a new level.
Yeah.
Did you know what you were doing that?
Well, I knew that Vince wanted me to do something. He really took an interest in like a real me, person behind the mankind character, and he wanted me to do an interview similar to the one that Dustin Rhodes had done, where he talked about his character, and his real name was Dustin Rhodes. And I said to Vince, you know, like this character is working, and I guess evidence of that would be the fact that I scared the crap out of somebody when you were young. And so I told him I could do 100% honest answers, but do them in the character of mankind, which meant I didn't see the questions, JR didn't know the answers, and so it was really organic. It wasn't until there was a stop in the tape and I heard a voice in the darkness go, "This is outstanding." And it was Mr. McMahon, that I realized that it was going really well. So well that they divided it in like 5 weeks. And after the first week aired, I was driving with Stone Cold, and he was like, "Hey kid, they're gonna make you a baby face." Good guy. I said, "No, I think they just wanted people to know the character a little better." And he looks at me and goes, "You'll be a baby face in 3 weeks." And he was wrong. I was a baby face in 2. And what was so cool like, I didn't save anybody. I wasn't any different. It was just when people got to know me, they felt like they could relate to me. And it really was a game changer, that interview. It was a watershed moment. Thanks for remembering. Appreciate it. Hello there. How you doing?
My name is Jason Idaho Falls, and I started watching you in the early 90s when I was in Louis WWE, like that, you know? I was a very young person, like maybe 9 to 11 years old at the time, you know?
Yeah.
So this really brings back memories.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. My question is, it deals back when you were a Raw general manager and you had Eugene as one of the wrestlers during that time. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I remember when Eugene went to collect the bounty, and Triple H handed him a roll of paper towels.
Well, my question is, back then and these days, how do you see the effect of people who have mental and physical disabilities, like autism or ADHD, in terms of kind of businesses like you?
Become wrestlers?
Yes.
Hey, I'm all for it. You know, there are people in the business on the spectrum. You know, like yeah. I think wrestling, all shapes, all sizes. You know, there's people who are on the spectrum that we don't know about, and they do a great job. So, you know, it's like I have a son on the spectrum, and those are his superpowers. You know, so yeah. You're welcome. Are you parent? Autism parent? Two. You're saying it's no? Your mom's lying to us? Well, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I know every day's a challenge, right? He donated plasma? Do you know how rich I'd be if I donated plasma every time I was in a match? I never got paid for my donations. But, well, thank you for being here. God bless you, okay? Thank you. But now I just want to mention, you were the Riddler, right? Yes. I've got a name for a new villain. The semicolon. And there's just a bunch of semicolons, and he only speaks in ways that allow for semicolons. So he makes a statement and then follows it up with another statement. He's not funny or evil, but he's the semicolon. Okay? Thought I'd throw that out there. You guys have a New York Times #1 best-selling author. I want this to go together. Okay, go ahead.
Wanted to compliment you on your...
Wait, no, you have to say, riddle me this.
Riddle me this. Did you receive medical attention after your backlash match?
Medical attention after my backlash match? Yeah. Wait, no, I'm sorry. When I wrestled Rick, I had the stitches all in my chest because he chopped me with barbed wire, and there's a reason nobody's done that since. The only cool thing when I'm not saying it was cool, but I went to a men's baseball game with my son, and this is my oldest son, like I was way down because I wasn't wrestling anymore. But when he saw the Mets players who had just had a SummerSlam party at Carlos Beltran's house, I've got people making $20 million a year asking me to unbutton my shirt so I can show them my stitches, right? So that was pretty cool. But your question in specific was
against Randy Orton.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I did. I remember I threw up in the parking lot of Tim Hortons, which meant I think I was concussed. Honestly, I don't remember if I needed medical attention. If it wasn't much. I had an incredible amount of laceration on my arm, but they were all superficial, you know? So I don't think I did. I was really happy. I mean, that was my favorite match. I was so happy. Even throwing up at the parking lot at Tim Hortons, getting delayed for 4 hours at the airport in Toronto as my bags hadn't arrived. like even that couldn't damper it. It was just, it was a really great night.
The promo you cut with Barbie was amazing.
Well, the promo with Barbie, I don't know how many of you remember in the rocking chair, right? So, a certain somebody came up to me like 8 years ago and I said, Nick, I'm wondering if you could watch my promos. I've been doing something in a rocking chair after I saw you do it. So, we like to pass things on in our business, and the idea that Bray Wyatt got an idea for a rocking chair from me, and that he then started using the mandible claw, you know, that's really cool. I love the idea of passing stuff down to other people. So
You're wearing a very Bray Wyatt shirt today.
I am wearing it, and it's got my dogs on it. So we lost Randall like 6 months ago. It brings me great happiness to wear Randall on my shirt. Now, the origin of this shirt came up because I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt with huge raccoons on it. Like, it was awesome. Some of you may have seen it on social media. And a guy came walking up with his dog on his shirt, and I said, hey, buddy, did you not get the memo? Only Mick Foley can wear cute animals on his shirt. And then I looked at him, I said, is that your dog? And he said, yeah. He gave me the website, Gecko, GECKO.com. And this is far from my only Gecko shirt. The Foleys, don't tell them, we're all getting custom pajamas on Christmas Eve, so yeah, we're rocking the Gecko stuff. All right, good.
I am a fan of all the faces of Foley.
Even dude love?
Even Dude Love.
Okay.
That means that there's one face. There's one face of Foley I've never heard you talk about, and that is the boulder. How did that come about? Did you enjoy that experience?
Well, no, I didn't enjoy it. I'll tell you why. Because it's not realistic at all. A little blonde girl like Tom could beat up a big tough guy like the Boulder. She's not here, is she? Look, I got asked to do it, you know, and I didn't know it was a big deal until like 10 years had passed. And then I started hearing, wow, this is really cool. And the truth is, Michaela, how many Avatar fans here? If you met Michaela yet, she's top. And she's such a great person. And we took a photo in 2021. And she didn't realize like we were actually going to become friends and like start texting and you know like it's really cool. Like, I think she looks at me like a big brother. And she told me one time I was up to dinner. She had a boyfriend at the time, and she's like, I have to tell you, this is both unexpected and really appreciated, meaning that friendship. So it's just cool that we share in this thing that's gotten so big, right? I only had like 4 lines in the whole thing. And so when someone comes up, I've got like older photos. I actually will write like, the Boulder is conflicted, you know. And they did, they, meaning Avatar, they came out, they got merchandise, and one of them was a signed Boulder photo, but it's not my autograph. But what I did is I worked on that autograph, which is all caps, to where it pretty much is that Boulder autograph, you know. Just a word here, I'm not naming names, but some of the younger wrestlers, first of all, we don't grow up learning cursive. And I say if you don't learn it, you should at least practice it on your own. Because if I stood in line and paid $60 for a squiggle, I'd be a little upset, you know, or initials. So I do try to give people a good experience, and the Boulder is conflicted as a small price to pay for being able to see all of this. So thanks. Yeah. There you go. Woo. All right.
Hi, I'm actually working on a Halloween wrestling mixtape, and I found some fun matches that you did, like the Texas Death Match with Vader at Halloween Havoc 93.
You thought that was fun. Have you ever wrestled Leon Wayne?
He looks really
A
scary.
lot of things. I wouldn't say fun. We had great matches, I just wouldn't say they were fun.
And then you also did a little thing with Chainsaw Charlie, which is very fun.
Yep.
And you guys wrestled New Age Outlaws in a dumpster match.
Yep.
And then I dove a little bit deeper, and I found a match from March 4th, 1995. It's Cactus Jack and the Crypt Keeper versus Leatherface and Shoji Nakamaki. And that was in IWA Japan. My question is, do you have any memories of your time in Japan?
Oh,
doing
yeah.
FMW or IWA?
Well, I only wrestled for FMW 2 shows. You know, I did their big shows. I really enjoyed IWA. I mean, if you look at the videos, you go, I don't see what there was to enjoy, because it was real hard work, real hard work. You'd come home from tours in much worse shape than you arrived in. But I tell you, the audience was really respectful, and I did like the wild stuff, I'm not gonna lie, like this, me and Terry Funk in there, it didn't matter the size of the crowd, we were gonna try to tear the house down no matter what. So I've got great, I do have great memories, and I just want to say a little something to my Japanese fans out there. Keiga, Saru, Miami, Nakama, Ni, Nare, Sketi, Yorozo, which means I know you're having problems, come over to my side, I can help you. It's the only Japanese I can speak. I memorized it phonetically. I used it in every town we went to, and every town I went to, they went, ooh. So, if you remember this, in life, as in wrestling, it's not how much you know, it's how much people think you know.
We've had 2 deep cuts in a row. How's your question, Henry?
My question isn't about a deep cut at all, actually. I have a question about one of my favorite matches of all time, Hell in the Cell match with The Undertaker.
Yes.
So,
Wait, you have to hear that. I had some type of match that took place in the cell?
yeah.
Undertaker?
It's kind of well known, it's a little obscure. But
Raise your hands if you've seen the match in question. Raise your hands if you celebrate every anniversary by watching it on June 28th. I think it's the only match that people celebrate the anniversary of.
So my question for you, Mr. Foley, and I hope this doesn't sound like I'm trying to be a smart aleck, I'm being completely serious. How did you survive? Because every time I watch it, there's so many, you're really tough. I mean, how did you survive it?
At past tense, I was really tough. Not so much anymore. Well, I had I had a definite idea of what I wanted to do, but some things happened that we weren't expecting. It's just something I think that's instilled in you that you keep going no matter what. What I'm proudest of that match is that we didn't make it over the finish line the way we had hoped, but by God, we made it over that finish line. For those out here who are not wrestling fans saying, why doesn't he get new teeth, especially on the bottom? I understand this is not a winning look, but it is my look. So I earned it my match, and that's why I'm really hesitant to fix them, because I don't need a lot of memorabilia in my house. I don't have any. What I do have is a mirror. Every morning I smile in it and I remember exactly what I did for them. So, good question.
I'll tell you, on one of the projects I recently did for WWE, I was tracking social media views, video views online, and the cell match has had over 72 million views.
Wow.
On various social media platforms.
So, growing up a wrestling fan, was there ever a time after you turned pro that you were a little starstruck, or just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm working with this person or wrestling with this person?
Oh, yeah. A lot of it. I mean, I even get starstruck when Ric Flair said goodbye to me today, I did, yeah. I mean, these are people I idolize, I wrestled Jimmy Snuka, Don Morocco. I'm one of the few people in my generation who wrestled tag team with Randy Orton's dad. I wrestled all 4 Guerrero brothers. So, I was lucky. I did a lot of cool stuff. Kerry Von Erich was a huge star, and then you realize, Kerry was the first guy who took the clothesline over the top rope when it was far more out of control than it turned into. And Kevin was the first guy who took the elbow, and you might be wondering, well, why is that a big deal? I was about 250 at the time, maybe 260, and I was traveling about 12 feet in length and 4 feet. It's a lot of impact. And the first time you drop it, if that guy doesn't get up, no one's staying down for a second elbow. So to have the biggest guys in the territory taking your stuff and then going back and telling the guys that I was not nearly as uncontrollable as I looked. Well, that was a good thing. So thank you for that question. All right. Go for it.
So hey, so quick backstory. It was the early 90s, and I was at a wrestling event in North Carolina with my older brother, without our parents, because it was the 90s. And when we were leaving, I got separated. I was lost in the parking lot, and I was crying because I didn't know where anybody was. Security got me, brought me to the back, and waited. You and Steve were walking by, came inside, and I got photos and autographs.
Really?
Finally got picked up from my family, from my brother. He was pissed, took him, ripped him up, and threw him out of the back of the truck. I forgive him, but it was an early memory, and obviously you and Steve have just been endeared to my...
The actual bleep, man.
He's fine. I give him a hard time, but, you know, I love him. I would be angry too that, you know, I
Is he here
today.
today?
Is he here right now? No. We can FaceTime later with him, and you can yell.
This reminds me exactly of one of the youngest Marsh children who threw out Joanne Marsh's. Any little women fans in here?
I got you. So I've been waiting, 30-something years to finally be able to tell you that story, but is there somebody from your childhood, whether it's music, movies, anything that you got to meet, and then the next 30, 40, 50 years you're going to just grow up and become a bigger fan?
I had quite a meeting with Tori Amos, I really did. And that was when I realized the magnitude of these meetings. Like, I just swear, I felt like I was on a cloud for like a few months. And then a friend of mine, a great illustrator named Jill Thompson, said, well, Mick, that was how I felt when I met you. And I go, get out of here. And she showed me a photo. Her face was all flushed. And I was like, wait a second. So I have this secret power and I'm not using it? And so I would say almost everybody comes up to the table and gets a happy photo, right? So I try to make them good experiences. That was a really good one. I had a fun experience a few weeks ago where I saw Susan Sarandon, who I hadn't seen in 25 years. And she was very cordial and took a photo. And then she got up from her table and she was walking over with her phone. And I was like, is she coming over to my table? I literally just saw Dead Man Walking last night that she won an Academy Award for, and she's a mind-blowingly good actress, you know? And all of a sudden I was like, she's coming to my table, and she said, Mick, will you talk to my son? I think it was a FaceTime. And I just thought that was super cool, that, Academy Award winning actress, like, not only knew me, but wanted me to talk to her child. And you see lots of things where worlds collide here, whether it's, Toth and the Boulder, you see people getting on mines, meeting. Yesterday, an agent I worked for in the past came by, and he's like behind the curtain, he goes, Mick, Chevy Chase would like to meet you. Wants to meet me. And he's like exactly the same way you imagine him. He's like telling the little jokes, and I was like, Chevy, I just want you to know that Christmas Vacation is one of those movies that gets better every time I see it. And he like grabbed me by the shoulder. He's like, I bet you say that to everyone, you little rascal, or something Chevy Chase has. But you come to these things, you either love them or you don't. And the people who don't love them don't do them, because it would be like running a marathon if you're not a runner. It's hard, It's not as hard as working a real job, don't get me wrong. But it's difficult to stay up, and you don't want to disappoint people, and to try to have a good energy. I take it really seriously because I've seen my prices. So have you, I want everyone who leaves my table to think it's a good, that investment in time and money was a wise one. There's all kinds of choices here, and I think it's going to be awe-inspiring when every one of us leads the world's largest condo line directly to my table. Yeah. Okay, so I'll see you. You'll be leading it, right?
Absolutely.
Good question.
When you're the GOAT, if you want to yell at my brother, I'll try to FaceTime him and I can meet you out.
All right, go ahead, my man.
All right, got it.
You can lift it up a little bit.
There it is, right then. All right, so it's not really a wrestling question here, but it's more like personal life advice to you, Westmer. Because I just turned 30 yesterday, and so you've gone through a lot of life in your 30s. Mine was like the wildest 10 years of your life from 30 to 40, actually. At what point did you feel personally secured with yourself, your relationships, and your career, honestly?
Do you want me to give you the greatest belated birthday song ever?
Sure.
Have a great belated birthday. It's the best time of the year. Have no fear. Mick Foley's here. All your blues are gonna disappear. Have a great belated birthday. In case I did not say, be elated. Have a great belated birthday today.
Thank you.
I got tired of singing the same birthday song on County Radio, so I wrote 12 birthdays.
So what was the best decade of your life?
Yeah, I want to put you feel secure with yourself.
Best decade of my life?
When you started to feel secure with yourself and confident?
Yeah, because I'm getting my 30th, so when did you feel secure with yourself just overall, like career-wise?
I'm still trying to get total strangers to accept me. I'm not sure I am there yet, okay? You'll know I'm there when I start ignoring everybody. But as long as I still need what you have, I will continue to come back to that level of acceptance. Okay? Honestly, I wouldn't have got into wrestling if I was a completely normally balanced guy. You know, like I did dressing up in a form of like dangerous fantasy warfare to earn approval from total strangers. It's kind of weird, right? Now you think about, why are you here to see me? It's just weird stuff. But here I will tell you a big thing: confidence. I will say that confidence was a light switching moment. Becoming confident enough to cut promos, not in the ring, because that's easy to do, but doing it backstage with sound guys and camera guys who've done 10,000 of these things would rather be anywhere else. And also having the confidence to think that what you have to say to one of the guys that you grew up, watching. I remember wrestling Don Morocco in 1991, and it was like, he just thought it was some guy, didn't really want to have a good match, and it was like, I'm not saying I forced him to, but once he saw how into it I was, he got into it, and we had a really good match. But if it was 2 years earlier, I wouldn't have had the confidence to think I could say anything about Don Morocco. So I got in a big argument, it wasn't a big argument, with the documentary I Am Santa Claus. I don't know if it's good. It's not for kids, but it's a really good movie. It's surprisingly touching. And I would sit up for hours during the editing sessions. And Tommy, the director, he wanted me to know the next day that he wasn't ignoring them, and that he just wanted to know he respected my opinion. And I said, Tommy, you've never been in a WWE wrestling room an hour before a pay-per-view match trying to get your idea for the match across. Those can be some pretty heated arguments. And then hopefully by the time you get in the ring, the heated argument side is behind and you can do business. Okay?
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Survey for it.
Yeah.
I'm so starstruck from you.
Right now?
You don't even know.
Thank you.
You were the inspiration for me.
Thank you.
But my question, how many bones did you break and how many fractures? And what was the most impactful moment of your injuries that you've ever had during your professional athlete?
Impactful injury, which luckily someone sent over a photo with my injuries on it.
Really? Got that?
Wanted me to post it. I said, no, let's post the Chevy Chase thing instead.
There we go.
Hold on a second.
And your real bubblers was thanks. Your commentary.
I wrote my horse. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, second degree.
Oh my gosh, I followed you all the way.
Second degree burn on the arm and shoulder. Broken right wrist, bone chips and elbow separated right shoulder. Bruised kidney, torn abdominal muscle. Torn ACL, 2/3 of ear ripped off. Nose broken, 4 teeth knocked out. Broken jaw, dislocated left shoulder, fractured left shoulder. Broken left thumb. 350 stitches, 6 herniated discs. 5 broken ribs. Broken toe. And a shattered heart. So.
I love it. Thank you so much, sir.
One guess as to which one was the most painful. We all know, right? It hurts, doesn't it? It's part of growing up, though.
This will be our last question.
I was raised on wrestling,
Okay.
and so I watched it all my life, and I still go to wrestling matches when you're in Salt Lake. I go to the ones in Salt Lake also. And I was just wondering, which of your characters is the meanest when you wrestle?
Oh, the meanest when I wrestled. That's good. It really took some doing for me to get aggressive, because I'm not aggressive by nature. So I really had to work on it. So I would say, by virtue, if you wind up the inhumane things I've done to my fellow human beings, Cactus Jack did most of them, so he would be the meanest of the wrestlers.
The meanest of one of your characters that you wrestle?
Well, he was the character.
Oh.
Yeah, he was one of my characters. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I know you have three.
that would be it. Dude Love wasn't too mean. I know there were some people that came out, I was like, but he's not even good. I was like, he's a pacifist wrestler. He's never been done before. He's a guy looking for any way out besides a physical way. Like, that's good in life. It doesn't make for a very good wrestling show, but he was the right character. Yeah, even when I was doing the voiceovers, Jay Lethal thinks it's one of the best things I've ever heard. When Duke was doing the voiceovers and he was on the receiving end of punishment, he was going, "Oh, lighten up, Daddy! Don't the dude owe you money?" And so he didn't like the wild stuff. So, but it made, when Dude, like when Kane chokeslammed Dude on the ramp, that necessitated Mankind coming out, and then when Kane beat Mankind, now he'd beaten two of my characters instead of just one. He'd beaten, anyone can beat Dude Love, but he defeated Mankind. Yeah. So good question. Thank you for watching us for a very long time. I really appreciate that. I'm sorry, he said only one. No, he said only one, and you got it. Go ahead, ask your second question. I'm not going to be mean to her on the last question. He's going to heal me, though. Go ahead and ask it.
I just want to know, when you fall on those tacks, does it really hurt, or is it props?
Well, no, they're not props. It's amazing what a red camera light and adrenaline can do for you. But once that camera light's off and you're back in the dressing room, you got three guys pulling tacks at you. Yeah, that's not a good feeling, right? Should we end on a happier note? Okay.
Because every time you fall on tacks, I say, "Oh, that hurts."
Yeah, it does. Yeah. But here's the thing about a tack. Like, how many of you are parents here? So you've all stepped on a Lego, right? It's the same thing. Yeah, there you go. Basically the same thing, right? Do you curse when you step on a Lego in the middle of the night? Yeah, probably, right? Okay. Did your child have a good time? All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
I got one question for you before we go.
Let's hear it.
You've got 200, 300 people here that just love you. You have used your platform for a lot of advocacy for causes that are important to you. How can this group here help support you on the things that are important to you?
Well, I've got one, you go where your heart takes you when it comes to, donations, and you can't really tell someone that their cause is not as good, because then you'd be there all day debating. But here's one I think will resonate with every wrestling fan, and I'm lucky I've been doing this thing where I do my one-man show. A lot of you were here at Wise Guys, right? I mean, a handful of you at least said hello. So I started doing it in January. It's the shirt off my back auction. And from auctioning the shirts off my back, we raised $17,000 for wrestlers who fall in hard times, medical, living expenses. And if anybody wants to donate, caulifloweralleyclub.org, and believe me, they can use that one. So, but just follow your heart. Don't do what I tell you to do. If you're interested in, children, there's a lot of good organizations. I've been sponsoring children through Child Fund since 1992. And there's a lot of great organizations. So just do something beneficial to make the world a slightly better place for all mankind.
And if you didn't get to every question, if you need the rest of the day,
I'll be there. Let me see. I don't think I've got the early flight.
don't follow him to the airport.
It's a 3:15. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to make a 5:10 flight. So, yeah, come